So, Sam, why am I here?
It's a very good question, Kyle. More to the point, why am I here? The answer to both of those questions are you've obviously come back from your lovely trip in Belgium, and I thought, why not? Let's sit down, let's talk about it, and find out what really went down whilst you were in Belgium. Because we've all seen the vlogs. You've done very, very well. I'm going to start off by saying so. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
But what we want to know is how you are feeling in the moments that we see on screen, and also, as I say, what went down off camera, because I'm sure there are some stories to tell. But you're obviously back now. How
I
is it
am.
settling back into life?
It's not like I've just come back from war or anything like that, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought that would have said it.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, okay, I get what you mean, though, because in all honesty, I had originally planned to go to a game tomorrow. Now, I don't actually think that game will be on anyway, because we've got a storm going on down here in the southwest.
Yeah.
But I've come back and I've got Belgian content that I basically have in the backlog. They're ready. I just need to edit it. I think I've got content to come out still from of course, going on from the vlog that I've already uploaded. So I thought, well, what's the reason for me to go out to this game? Yeah, I love football. I do love football, and going to a game is never a bad thing. I'm sure I'd have a great time, but at the same time, it's horrible. It's cold. I've just come back from Belgium. Game in a space of 4 days is pretty, like, that is mad. So of course, understandably, I felt a little bit not drained from it. I wouldn't say drained from football, because that it's not hard, is it, for what we do? It's not. I'm not going to pretend it's hard, but let's say I was tired. I was tired from it, and I felt like I kind of need a break from going to football games. But yeah, where should we begin?
Okay, good question. And yeah, firstly, I'm not surprised you're tired, because I've done back-to-back games before. And obviously going to the actual football matches is one thing, but what people obviously don't see is the editing that then goes on behind it. And obviously, as I'm sure we'll find out, the other bits and bobs that you were getting up to, you've had a real jam-packed week. Place that I want to start, however, is right at the very beginning, the inception of this idea. Why did you want to go on a trip like this, and why did you pick Belgium?
Okay, so it was my 30th. Of course, it's kind of a big occasion, I guess you could say. My wife, I've got 2 young children. She was wanting me to do something, or she was wanting us to do something, obviously, to celebrate my 30th. But with 2 young kids, it's quite hard to go away. Time of year as well. It's like, what would we do? And she was like, getting a little bit, dragging away, because she wants me to. You don't want to just be, at home like I was the year before. I'm not normally bothered by it, to be perfectly honest with you, by birthday, doing anything big. But it's your 30th. You want to go big. I was like, well, I would love. I love football. I love my channel. I love the channel that I do. Although I've kind of still quite new to it, really, and in reality, a few years on. But I thought it'd be really cool to go away and actually do some content in another country. So actually, first of all, the original plan were to go to Holland, Netherlands, and I even had games that I worked out that we were going to go to. And I actually found out it's actually quite difficult to get tickets in Netherlands for different clubs, because a lot of the clubs are either small, so it's harder, or it's not difficult, it's just very, very expensive. Final, for example, wanted like 80 quid for a ticket, and I was like, oh, like, I know you played at like Chelsea and that, but I'm wanting to go down that route, right? Especially with a team I don't support. I don't want to spend £80 on just going to a game.
Yeah.
So I was then looking. I love Belgium anyway. I'd already been to heavily Leuven there. Connecticut flag. I've had it for about 8 years. I had gone there. We were staying in Leuven. I went to Hanover away with Sunderland in the pre-season, and then the day after that, I travelled back to my family who were staying in Leuven in Belgium, and I went and watched Ode Heavily Leuven versus Anderlecht, and that was fantastic from what I remember, like 8 years ago. But I really, really did enjoy it. I'd always kind of thought I'd like to go back to Belgium sometime. So that's when I started looking into ticket prices of Belgian football. And of course, I already knew kind of about the atmosphere in Belgium. And it's also a kind of like a league in like a country where it doesn't get a lot of the limelight, really. The Premier League, called the Liga, the Bundesliga, they kind of get more of the limelight, where the Belgian Pro League and Belgian football really done. And I've even taught. I don't know if you know a lot of the Belgian club name, but even Rye, he told me that he only knew Anderlecht. He wouldn't have been able to name any other clubs. And I've actually got a KV Kortrijk top on that I bought about a month before we went, just because I absolutely love this top. It's just great. And of course, think of one of the clubs that I went and watched, and a lot of people wouldn't have a clue who that was. I mean, in all honesty, if I hadn't gone away and I showed you this top, would you know who that was?
No, not at all, mate. Not at all.
No.
This is the thing. I know like a smidge of Belgian teams until obviously seeing your videos, which is one of the great things that you've done is showcasing people like me, Belgian football, and the teams that are in there, and the wonderful fan bases that obviously we've seen. So it's a great thing to have done, and it's interesting how different it could have been had you been able to go to the Netherlands. But I think I probably speak for both of us when I say that you've done a good thing by going to Belgium. It's worked out well for you, isn't it? But
Yeah.
there's a lot of games to get into, a lot of derbies, but
Mhm.
getting there. So you went via the Eurostar, didn't you?
Yeah, so that's one thing in Belgium, especially from where I live in the southwest. Belgium isn't the easiest to get to in terms of plane travel.
Mm.
So I don't even think I could have got a plane from. I don't even think I could have got one from Bristol. I think I would have had to fly somewhere and then travel down. I might have been able to get one, but they weren't regular anyway, even if there was. And I thought, okay, that's not doable. Exeter's definitely not doable. Because I think Flybe went. There's no point in even looking at Exeter. And then I was like, well,
Mm.
okay, I've gone on the Eurostar before to Disneyland, the Paris one, but it's not far away from each other really. So I thought, oh, I'll have a look at the prices. Now, I won't lie and say it wasn't cheap to get out there really, but at the same time, I could do it cheaper if it was like if I was on my own. If I did get like if I flew to Amsterdam from Bristol and then got the true train down, that would have worked out a lot actually cheaper. But I couldn't be bothered to faff around with the planes, etc. So we just thought Eurostar, nice and easy. So from here to London, Paddington, you go to St Pancras International and onward to Brussels. And yeah, it's relatively easy. The train and transport over there are actually very, very good, very efficient. And yeah, we've actually all worked out relatively good in terms of travel and getting there. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. No drama. That's what we like to hear.
Mm.
Well, so what time did you get there? Did you get there around sort of lunchtime or a bit later? Or did you have a game on the same day that you went?
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a worry because if our Eurostar was delayed or cancelled, that
Mm.
game we wouldn't have made. We wouldn't have made that game.
Wow.
We got in, and Belgium is an hour ahead. So we
Yeah.
got there 3 o'clock our time, but it was 4 o'clock their time. And kickoff
Okay.
was 5:45 our time, 6:45 in Belgian time. So we only had a couple of hours really. We of course had our suitcasing, so we quickly went and found our way to our where we were staying, our Airbnb. Brilliant view, by the way. That's why I had to do the intro to my
Yeah.
first video on top of the balcony, which I chose, of that lovely
That's
view
lovely.
over Brussels. That I wouldn't have got bored of that view. It was mad, but yeah, we didn't
Mm.
have long. Quickly dumped our bag off and then got on that metro trying to find a way to get to Anderlecht. Of course, modern technology. It's not hard. I just type in on map Lotto Park and it told us the tube we needed to get. I need to go here, and you need to get off, and then you need to go there. So that was all relatively easy to get to. We didn't get there. I like to get there earlier, as I know that you like to get to games early as well. And it would have been good to get there earlier because I wasn't truly able to showcase around the ground. Of course, it was dark as well, so I wasn't able to get a lot of clips around. Of course, in the daylight, you can get some lovely, beautiful clips of the ground and the stadium and really showcase how fantastic or how bad it is. And we just got in there, showed what I could. I actually managed to get a ticket behind the goal with where the Ultras, the Mauve Army, MAO3. They've got like 2 sets of Ultras behind either goal, but I got them behind the main kind of section. A lot of people would shy away from that kind of thing and be like, I can't be near the Ultras because they, they don't like people filming. They might have a go at you or something, or tell you can't film, whatnot, tell you to get out. I had that a little bit in the back of my mind, but at the same time, I just thought, it's it is what it is, and I'll just move. Like really, if really
Yeah,
people had a problem, I would just move away. I wasn't like feeling oh god, every time I got my phone out. I mean, I'm not like some YouTubers where they're literally like out like this, or "Whoa," like I'm not like that. I'm a bit more discreet anyway, as I know you are as well. We're not like those kind of
yeah,
obnoxious people which are kind of telling everyone, "Hey, look at me, I'm a YouTuber and
yeah,
I'm doing a vlog." So if anything, if people were around me, I wasn't talking like they would just think, if they were looking at me, they would just think, "Oh, getting some footage at the game or getting the chance of what the Anderlecht fans were singing." And
yeah,
in that aspect, I don't think that's a bad thing because I was showcasing how great of a fan Anderlecht had. That was my mindset going in there. I want to show off Anderlecht fans. I want to show off how great they are. I want to show off how great their ultras are, how great their grounding, a very unique ground as well. I really, really liked it, and that was my main aim. So yeah, that was very, very, very good. Yeah,
yeah.
I
There you go.
forgot your
Well, I mean,
question.
we are
Yeah.
getting right into day 100th ground that you've been to. Yes, I've done one of those for each day. Anderlecht versus Porto. Now, you've touched on various bits there. I mean, the anxiety was one of the questions I was going to ask you about what it was like filming there. You've kind of touched on that, so that's nice and easy. One less thing for me to tick off the list.
Mm.
You mentioned about obviously being in with the ultras. Now, one of the things that I thought whilst I was watching your videos is obviously you've got there you've seen all the stickers and stuff that's put all over the walls outside the ground and inside the ground as well. What was the atmosphere like not in the terraces? So maybe on the streets outside the stadium going in. Was there much going on?
Yeah, like a bloody rave going out there. They had like
Was it?
the pub. Yeah, they had like two pubs just outside, literally just outside the ground with all the food kind of places that you would expect from
Yeah.
the top football teams. And they literally had like and like people like drinking and everything. It was actually very good vibe. There was nothing that would seem that would like a hostile. It just seemed very very friendly. I'm sure it could be different, maybe on like a derby day against like Liege or something
Yeah.
like that. But in this game, it just seemed very friendly, very people were having a drink, having a laugh, right up until kickoff. Kind of people then started coming in, which is the interesting thing I found with Belgian football is a lot of them literally go into the ground like just before kickoff or during kickoff. They're
Mm.
not rushing to get in and sit in their seat and can have their prawn sandwiches. They're in their beer, then they're bringing, of course, their beers into their seat as well, because of course you're allowed to do that in Belgian football. Actually, it wasn't. I saw a
Oh
lot of people where
yes.
they've got like loads of beer like this, just walking along, and they would place them down, and it would all be there, and that was great.
That's amazing.
But yeah, when we got into the actual concourse bit, where you would have seen in the film where it said like Anderlecht. Now that was a little bit of a different vibe, where I kind of thought maybe I won't record in this bit. It just seemed a little bit more not like intimidating in terms of I felt intimidated, but a bit more of like a
Yeah.
hostile kind of atmosphere, like Nick the Ultra sticking all over the place. Like
Yeah.
I said, I showed some of them. Well, I could have shown more because they were literally the whole of that concourse thing, sticking
Yeah, I
everywhere,
bet.
in the toilet, sticking everywhere. But I said I loved it, but I just wanted to kind of be careful a little bit. In terms of I don't know what to expect. I'm not even in up there yet in the ground, but yeah, really 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 good. And you get up there and you're like, wow, this is great. Really really good. And obviously I got all my live reaction. I mean, that's not fake. I don't fake what I'm doing. I just have my phone out and I'm just saying my reaction. I'm not there like, oh, Jacob, just record this bit. I just get my phone out and I'm walking in and I'm like, oh wow, that's not me then keying it and being like, oh wow, and that was real. That was
Yeah,
genuinely
yeah.
my reaction, and I was very very impressed with Lotto Parkour. That sponsorship, actually the Vanden Stot Stadion, I think, where the proper name to it.
Yeah.
Next
So
question, come on.
yeah, I mean, next done. Interesting, actually, that you're sitting there sipping on a Guinness at the moment. Is it a Guinness?
Yeah, it is actually.
There you
Tastes
go.
like shit.
So, okay, that brings us nicely on to again just before the game, just before we get into how crazy this game was. You broke a record, a personal record,
Yeah, not Guinness World. Yeah.
508 days. Yeah, well, there you go, more Guinness. Yeah, 508 days without a drink. And you had your first beer at the football. Firstly, why did you go for so long without drinking? Because, it's not like there was an underlying problem there that
No, no.
influenced it. And why did you choose to break that that trend in
Yeah.
Belgium?
Okay, so I'm a weird one. If I start like a streak of something, like we were talking the other day about Duolingo. Now,
I knew you could say that.
I got like a 700-day streak on Duolingo, and the only reason I kind of got bored of it, like I couldn't be bothered to do it. But the reason why I was doing it every single day is because I'm going to lose the streak, and I was like, well, I've done 700 days, I've got to keep it going. It was exactly the same as that for beer. It just kind of happened that I went like a month without having any, and then I thought, hey, I wonder how long I could go. And it wasn't a clutch that, like you said, I don't need it, but it's fun to have a little bit of okay, look, I've gone 500 days now. Oh, cool. Oh, I've gone 550. Just
very
like
impressive.
Duolingo. Yeah, and just like alcohol, the streak had to be broken. One day, that streak, I couldn't keep that up forever. And I thought, the Duolingo thing, I've just had enough of it now. So I just deleted it, and I deleted any of the notifications. So for all I know, the streak is still there. I think maybe it's a little bit of like a ADHD thing. Maybe I have, because I feel like I have to, I take them like, I've got to keep that streak. Same with alcohol. I was like, it's got to be broken one day. Go, what's the point? Why not break it when I'm going to my 100th round for my 30th birthday weekend? Why, that would be a great part, celebrating 100 grounds, like a lot of grounds that I've been to, there are ground hopping, of course, that I've been to a lot more than that, but it's a lot of grounds, isn't it, to visit, 100. And I've just thought that'd be a nice little way. Have and when you're in Belgium, Jupiler beer, I love Jupiler beer. Of course, Belgium Pro League is sponsored by Jupiler and have been for ages. You're in Belgium, they've got good beers there. That's a great excuse, isn't it? Rather than me just going down to the local co-op and just grabbing whatever, I've had a nice proper Jupiler on tap in Belgium. Perfect little start to the trip away, eh?
100%. Yeah, it's certainly better than going to a co-op and grabbing a bottle of vodka and sitting on a park bench. Although now you've got to start a new record of how many days in a row you can drink for till you get a liver replacement. Fantastic achievement anyway. Again, well done for getting 500 days, because again, that is very impressive. And I think no better circumstances to break that trend. However, let's get into the nitty gritty of the football. This is what everyone wants to know. They want to hear what the Devon Mackham really thinks about Belgian football. So you're in the ground, you've got the beer in your hand, you got your phone in your hand, ready to record, and then the tifo comes down, and you can't see anything, but the atmosphere is fantastic.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
What that moment? So of course the tifo was coming down before the player could come out. That was coming down. That was cool. And I was like, I looked behind and I could see them starting to get the tifo down. I was like, oh, okay, we're going to be underneath that in a minute. That's going to be cool. And of course, I got that really cool shot of along down when you're underneath the tifo. I got a really, really cool shot. And of course, I didn't expect the game to begin. And then a goal. I've watched it back, by the way. A goal to have been scored that was offside. And of course, I was recording, I got underneath the tifo, then the game just started, I don't know what's going on, and then suddenly the crowd erupt, and I'm like, you see my eyes, like, what, they've been a goal, I think Anderlecht have scored, and obviously you can see Jacob in the background, like, what, what's going on here? And of course that was offside, but what a great little moment that was, because of course, in hindsight, that was a goal, and I just missed that because I'm underneath the tifo. A little bit annoying, but at the same time, it's quite cool to get your live reaction to before a goal even happened. So that was very cool. But what a mad beginning to our journey. Literally 1 minute in, and there had been a goal that's been disallowed that I hadn't seen because they go massive tifo in front of it with like the Anderlecht badge on it, that which looked really, really cool. Funny beginnings, that one.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I've said to you off camera anyway that is one of my favourite moments of this whole thing. And to be fair, this whole series I've watched with a big fat smile on my face because it has been really fun to watch. And you're right, like what a great start to get your live reaction as that happened as well. I just think that is perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And in some ways lucky it didn't stand, so you technically haven't then missed a goal. But yeah, very unique moment, and I think really set the tone for the rest of the week. But what also set the tone for the whole trip in general, and something that we're going to talk about a lot today, I'm sure, is the atmosphere and how fantastic that was. I'm talking your flags, I'm talking your pyros, even the fans that are standing up and orchestrating the rest of the fans to sing, stuff that we don't see in England. That was pretty special, wasn't it?
It really special, yeah. And what was unique in actually at Anderlecht, the Lotto Park, it was all the other ground can completely different. At this ground, that you had like 3 different singing sections, which you never ever see that. So you had the MAO3 who were by us behind that goal. You then had I don't know the name of their ultra, but you have an ultra group that are behind the other goal, and then up high, which I did show it up high, like just to the left of me, you had like a group, but they were all singing in English. The equal singing more in French. It really, really strange. But you
That
could
is odd.
say, it was weird because you would have the chanting something, but then they're all like bouncing up and down. And the other thing, you would think, oh, they're the away fan, but they're not. They're the Anderlecht fan that are like, I guess, like the crazy one because they're right near the away fan. I don't know whether maybe that's where like the main one are that maybe would want to fight if there was kind of like a rivalry kind of derby going on there. But yeah, it was just a very fun atmosphere. I felt like overwhelmed. I even said it. I felt overwhelmed because I didn't know where to look. I'm like, oh, they're bouncing. Oh, Porter have got a flare going off. Oh, they're waving their flag and doing something. Oh, well, they're singing something in English. Like, and of course we were there as well. Like, it was very. And then you got the football, of course, going on too. There was some fight going on in the away, which I could get the thing. We could like looked over and there was like some Porto fan like kicking like a in 300, where you like kicking that. They literally was a guy doing that to another fan, and I could see it all kicking off. And then to our left in like
Both
a
Porto
hospitality
fans.
section, yeah, they were like fighting
Wow.
in between themselves. But then I think a Porto fan might have been in the hospitality part because then later on throughout the game it was then kicking off over there as well. So I found that quite funny. Fight there, chanting football. Like, you know what I mean? It was all going off. I went away thinking, God, I really hope I've covered that well because I was worried that I was maybe too focused on one thing. And that was mainly why a lot of the time I missed goals because one reason was I wanted to show more about the home fan. What that was my main aim of the video is showcasing the home fan of the game that I'm watching. On course, the ground, everything like that. Now, of course, if I would have my phone out for every single like Porto chant, I felt like maybe that would be a little bit more like obvious, like Wygee recording their like shot. Wygee recording Nick. Wygee keep getting there out. Oh look, Porter have scored, and now he's there with his phone. Like, oh, Porter have just gone 1-0 up. You know what I mean? Which of course I did. But for the other goal, there was chants going on. And I saw it, and I just thought, you know what? I'm not getting my phone out for this. And I just watched it go in. I thought, I'm not. I saw the goal. I just thought it's not always needed for my content. A goal could great, but if I don't get a goal, the highlight, it's not about that. Of course, it just make our video as such a little bit more interesting. But it was down the far end anyway. I mean, what it's like sometimes capturing footage when you're behind the other goal all the way down the other side of the end, or you're seeing a little shot anyway. But that it was an unreal atmosphere to kick things off. It really, really was. And I've had so much good comment from that, which really made me happy, and one of the reasons why I want to continue showcasing Belgian football. I think actually, just before we started, let me just check quickly. I think it might have just hit 10k, which is
That's
pretty
it.
nuts,
Fantastic.
really. Yeah. Very, very close. We're at 6 actually. We're very close to 10k. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it.
Bump that
and
up.
There's not a lot else. Yeah, there's not a lot else more I can say about that video. I think honestly, if you want to know about Anderlecht atmosphere, you want to know how good Lotto parking, just check it out. Just look it up because I feel like I showed how great those fans were, and the Porto fans.
Yeah,
They
I
were great
think
as well.
Fantastic. That's another one off my list as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you did a fantastic job. I mean, you mentioned that you left the stadium hoping that you'd done it justice, and I think you did because, as I've said anyway, that video, I just had a massive smile on my face watching it as your mate, but also just as a fan of the content that you make. I was like, wow, like compared to, if you think like the last couple of vlogs maybe that you've done, or few vlogs would have been non-league English games. So to go from
Yep.
that to suddenly this incredible atmosphere that you captured
Yeah.
brilliantly was brilliant. And yeah, you missed a goal, but it didn't matter because
No.
the whole vlog as what it was just brilliant, really well done. That it's, you don't even notice the goal that's missed, and I
No.
think you did a great job. And again, I know what it's like when you're in one end, and yeah, if you're filming the opposition, I think I told you about the other week I was in Bristol versus Leeds, and the guy behind me is going, I think we've got a Leeds fan in front of us. And I was like, no, I'm not, please. I'm just like to film the goals. So yeah, it can feel quite uncomfortable when that happens. But
Yeah.
you did a great job. You did a
Thank
great
you.
job. And I'm assuming after that it was bed?
Yeah, literally just went straight back, and I edited the video, got it up, and then we went to
Whacked it
sleep.
out,
Yeah.
sorted. Lovely stuff. Then we come on to day 2. Kortrijk versus Mechelen. And the question is, was it Mechelen the first day? Mechelen better than?
Right.
Mechelen?
Before we talk
Close.
about that, I'll rewind it a little bit, all right? Because that
Go
was
for
in
it,
the
go for
evening. Okay. So I have done other videos. I went out there. I have done one where basically we went around as many grounds as we could in Brussels in 24 hours. So we did the first part of that video on the morning of that, and then we did the second part on the morning of the other. Well, like later morning, and then we did the other
Okay.
one like early morning. So in the time span of 24 hours, I recorded that whole video of visiting as many grounds, of course, we possibly could. We couldn't get in all of them, but the ones we did get in, of course, we did that. We went on like the metro, we walked, we got e-scooter, which was great fun because you're on the main road. Like bloody, I went the wrong way round the roundabout.
Oh yeah, because of course it's different, isn't it?
I fucking, yeah, literally, and then Jacob was following. Like, it was like, you're meant to know how to drive. And like, I
Head
do
on.
in England. I know how to drive in England. But yeah, we just went around lots of different ground in that morning before, and we then went to the Kortrijk game. So that's what we want to start off with. There's not too much I want to say about that video because I haven't brought it out yet because we can't really talk about it. I don't want to tell you how many ground I did because that's kind of the fun out of the video, to see how many ground, we could have gone into 5. And but I'm going to tell you this though that will help you with. I got into more ground than we didn't get into, which is
Okay, cool. So there's at least 3.
non-League One, 7th tier, 6th tier, 4th tier Belgian football.
Wow.
2nd tier Belgian football. We went out on the outside of Anderlecht one again in the daytime, but I couldn't get in there, so I just quickly did a little bit there. It wasn't like a long. I just wanted to. My aim was we're gonna get to the ground. If I can get in, great. Quick little shot inside. Get out again. We're not mecking around. And get to the next one. That was kind of the main thing. If I can't get in, I'm not going to waste time walking around it to try and get in. Quick little bit outside. Quick little bit of information about the club, and then we move on to the next one. I just thought it'd be a little bit of fun. We get to explore Brussels Cork on our first proper full day, and we got to I planned it. Okay, starting at where we were staying, and we did a right circular route around Brussels and finished back where we were staying again.
Nice.
So that was because we literally went around, and there was a massive house. It was great. We were e-scootering in like the woods, with like big mansions by along that way. I've recorded 4 different videos as well, which is really, really good to be able to get as much content as I possibly could out of this trip. I mean, the thought process, we didn't do like many touristy stuff. We literally, you could argue football kind of ink, I guess, but you know what I mean? We weren't going there to look at the site. I was there going to a Belgium non-league ground to do a video on, just for example, for one of the videos, the ground where the Belgium international team played their first ever game, and I went and visited that ground. Another one was I went to an abandoned ground that was in the capital of Belgium, in Brussels, and we of course, I wandered around that. There was another ground that is absolutely huge. That, by the way, I'm going to bring that video out tomorrow because I've just got a little bit of editing to do. Now, this ground, I just want to tell you one thing. This ground is unbelievable. Like, I loved it. I mean, you watched my one at Bugle, with the abandoned ground.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of like that in terms of abandoned, but kind of not, because a 7th tier side play there.
Right.
But this ground got an incredible story where basically the full capacity of this ground was only used once ever.
Wow.
And since then it wasn't, but it preserved the exact same as the day it was used that one time, which was back in the 1940s.
Wow.
Just to give you a little bit of
I'm very excited. I'm very excited. That wow, I think, didn't really do it justice. It sounded more sarcastic than it did.
I don't know. Did I send you a picture of me at a ground?
Yeah, you sent me a few. You did send me quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah. I will, just so you can see just live on it, I'll just send you this one. Just 'cause it really was incredible. I'll try. Like, you should get it on WhatsApp. Basically, what that bank I'm stood on is terracing going down. It just might not be. You might not be able to see it as much from that location. That is terracing that goes all the way around back to that other that stand you can see on the left there.
That's fantastic.
It's called the Drelinden Stadion. Because that video is coming out tomorrow, and I'm really excited for it because I did my research on it before going, and I'm like, I have to go to that ground. I'd like to watch a game there because a team do play there, but not in the capacity of what it was meant to be for. That ground is unfinished. It would never ever finish, that ground. So that's why it's a very, very interesting one. But that video, like I said, will be out tomorrow. Well, I mean, it'll be out by the time this goes out, but for you, Sam, if you're interested. So that video will be already out by the time you're watching it, but it will be out tomorrow into time of talking on here, which of course is Friday the 6th of December. So yeah,
there you go.
We did all that kind of stuff, a couple more videos in there, but let's fast forward and then go back to KV Kortrijk. Go with your question there.
Yeah. I will just say, by the way, that having seen the picture, if you haven't checked out that video that Carl was talking about, the stadium exploration one, I obviously haven't seen it because it's not out yet, as we've just said, but it looks fantastic and I cannot wait to watch it. So go and check that out. Maybe, do you know how to put them in the corner yet? Like, when it pops up with the video, have you let us do that? Carl, I'll teach you how to do that, mate, and you can sort that out through this. But yes, Kortrijk now. And you're with the Ultras again. You've done really, really well with your tickets, I will say, throughout this, because you've got some really good seats in with the singing sections for quite a lot of it. And it's a really nice ground. It's one that reminds me a bit, I think I said this to you already, of a team in England, Walsall. Yes, it's very similar to that one in parts. Managed to get there nice and early, so that was good. Early enough for a big old sausage. How was that?
Unreal.
Yeah,
curry ketchup as well. It was so good. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that looked absolutely banging. And yeah, I've heard that the curry ketchup is supposed to be really, really good. And I don't know why we don't have it over here because it sounds fantastic. So, very jealous. You've whipped yourself out another few Jupilers. Is that right?
Jupiler, yeah.
Yeah, cool. A few more Jupilers. So that's all good. But the game started, and one thing that I noticed is the Kortrijk fans were singing "You'll Never Walk Alone." Do you know why they're singing "You'll Never Walk Alone"?
No, I don't actually. I don't know the reason for that. But at the same time, a lot of people are mistaken and they immediately think of who? What team do you think
Liverpool.
of? Yeah,
Liverpool.
Why? So my dad actually told me that back in the 70s or 80s, everyone sung that like a normal football chant. It was only Liverpool that kind of gatekeeped it and said, "Hey, come on, that's our thing." And then everyone was like, when the Hillsborough kind of thing happened, they were like, "Okay, we'll let them have that." You know what I mean? So then people just stop kind of singing it. Definitely in England, anyway. Now I don't know behind that. I do have a few Kortrijk people that I'm sure I could ask. That I would maybe be interested in that, but for all I know, they might have already sung that. They've been around a while. I don't even know if it says it, actually. No, I don't know. But they've been around a while. They might have been around before Liverpool even started singing that. You know what I mean?
Quite possibly.
But Dortmund sing it as well. And there's a few other clubs that sing it. USG actually had it. Had a "You'll Never Walk Alone" banner when the player came out, but they didn't sing it. So yeah, they sung that. I thought that was quite cool. I like it when other teams do it because I don't want it to be known as like a Liverpool chant. It isn't a Liverpool song at all. I just think if people here in England, you think, oh, like a Liverpool chant. Why are they singing that? But it's not. Not a Liverpool chant. Don't keep it. Gatekeep it. Don't do that. Not cool, man.
It's interesting. Yeah. When I asked you that question, I smiled because I thought, I almost set it up as though I had the answer, and I was like, yeah, I was just waiting for you to go, no, I don't know, do you know? Okay, no, it's
No, I didn't
be a
think you
really
would know
pointless
that. Yeah.
part. But you styled it out nicely, and obviously, you've got a really good connection with the Kortrijk fans, and I'm sure that one of them will kindly let you know why
Tell
and let
me.
us know why. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed from this game, firstly, the atmosphere in the stand that you were in was absolutely fantastic. Really, really great support from the Kortrijk fans. Although I did notice that other than the stand that you were in, it looked quite empty. And that was something that I noticed. It was obviously a midweek game, wasn't it? Am I right?
Yeah.
I forget the
Friday
days
night,
at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
Friday
go.
night.
So, it's interesting. Not that that's... There you go. Yes, it's a bit of a late one anyway. But again, that didn't take away from how great the atmosphere was. You even mentioned that the ground itself was actually shaking when the fans were jumping up and down. And again, that was a really great shot that you got of those fans all jumping up and down.
Insane.
Really, really good stuff. But what was that like to be a part of? Because for me, it seemed, as a viewer, that looked better than the Anderlecht one, or like more fun to be a part of, more... maybe I'm using the wrong words. More energetic, certainly. Maybe it's because you were a bit more central compared to where you were for Anderlecht. But what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the place where I was immediately literally behind the goal there, where, of course, the Anderlecht one, I was a little bit away, where, of course, if I was with those fans that you could see from afar in the Anderlecht one, I'm sure maybe your talk would be maybe a little bit different. But at the same time, I really did enjoy that Kortrijk one. Like you said, you touched on that. That was like the main bit that was full, and the other one's not so much. But at the same time, I think I would factor in a midweek game. They are lower. They are lower down the league. They are like they were at the time, like third bottom or something like that. So, and they're not known to be up there. They are kind of down here or in the Challenger League below. It isn't like a huge play either. But I didn't expect that stand to get as full as it did. I kind of had like extra vibe when I was there because of their terrace behind the goal.
Yeah,
I thought, I didn't expect, because in England you have the gangway, don't you? You can't stand like on a yellow bit, for example. Even in Terraking, Exeter, we were stood at the back. We were there like an early. One of us would just go and stay there. The other one would go off, whether go to the toilet, get another beer, get something to eat, and it started to get more and more and more full. And I was like, there actually isn't any gangway because we are stuck here. And that is the reason why in the second half we moved down, because we did have to leave early. Now, I mean, I don't know, probably your next question, because I had to leave. I left early. I mean, when I say we left early, we left in like the 85th minute. So it's not like 60th minute, for example. It is the 85th minute. There was maximum of like 10 minutes left. But if we didn't leave, we wouldn't have got back. That's the main forefront factor there, is that we had to leave. And I didn't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I have a Kortrijk shirt. I've been following their results. I heard about them and bought the shop, and I've been looking at how they're getting on. I didn't want to leave, but we had to leave, and it was either that or not go to the game at all. Because that was like kind of the trade-off there. I can tick off Kortrijk, but unfortunately we're going to have to leave. Come time you leave the game early, you might not miss anything at all. Sometimes you will. But at the same time, we saw 2 goals of the 4 that were there. We saw the main, obviously, one Kortrijk. It wasn't like an equaliser goal that we missed, or a winning goal, for example. Yeah. Kortrijk actually went 3-0 up as we were going out of the ground, and then Mechelen scored as we were nearing the train station, and we still only made that train by like 5 minutes. So it would have been just too much of a rush to get out there. But again, just like the Anderlecht one, my main aim there was to show off Belgian Pro League football. That was the first Belgian Pro League game out of the tour. Of course, the other one was Europa League. And that was my main aim, is showing off
Yep.
Belgian Pro League, showing off the fan, and that was kind of job done in a way. Any extra could just there like a bonus, can't they?
Yeah,
Happy?
100%. I think you got some really nice footage, obviously, when you were in that main stand. But as you said, you moved. And what was great about you moving is that you were then able to capture that main stand that you were
Yeah.
in from further away. And that was fantastic. It looked really, really great. And it was nice to see both perspectives there. So there
Yeah.
was actually a benefit in a way of you having to leave early. But the obvious downside, you missing. Although it still seemed like you had a good time. You know, had a fair few Jupilas, didn't you, boy? You know, you were slagging off the English fans, watching back home, saying that we don't sing.
Yeah.
You were saying we don't. So what, English fans don't sing?
What I said, what I said was, look at the KV Mechelen fan who we were next to. They're currently 2-0 down, and they're still boom, 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 chanting whatever. And I want to give credit to them, because when I was in that other stand, if you can't hear the away fans, they were chanting the whole game. Of course, where I was, you're going to hear that more. So they were still hitting the drum. Because when we moved over, it was more prominent of actually, they actually are chanting. They are actually good fans. And it was the 85th minute we left. And when I said that comment, and literally just before we left, it's like 5 minutes before full time, they're 2-0 down, and here they are still all jumping around and having a great time about it. And I said, and you don't get that in England. And it's true, you don't get that in England. How depleted would it be at Stamford Bridge if you're 2-0 down against, let's think of like a mid-table team, them, for example.
Love the fact you said that. That was great. Mid-table, you've won me back.
Yeah, thank you. They are mid-table. Not that I hate Tottenham or anything, but at the same time, I don't care. You're 2-0 down to Tottenham, you know, at Tottenham, wherever you're in your way. There's going to be no chanting, is there? It's going to be depleted. Or you're going to be going, you're fucking shit, to your own team.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Stamford Bridge is a weird one to choose, because we were winning, what was it, like 8-0 against Noah, and the stadium was pretty much empty on the full-time whistle. So that in itself is mad.
And what were the Noah fans doing?
Yeah, there's the cliche sing when you're winning.
Yeah.
Mate, they were fantastic, to be fair. They were really, really good. It was the Noah one, wasn't it?
Yeah. What about, actually, no, tell you what, let's bring it back. Let's go to Genk. Because they're a Belgian team, of course. It keeps us on. You went to the Genk team. They were losing, look at 3-0. 3-0? 4-0?
No, it was actually quite a close game. I think, closer than it should have been. I think it was like 4-2 that we won.
Okay, 4-2.
But they were fantastic. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the only Belgian team that I've seen. They were great. And obviously, they had the light display that we then took the piss out of, which we then found out was because one of the Belgian singers had died. But yeah.
I mean, I didn't see any light display kind of thing. I mean, the light display I saw, we'll come on to, but not this kind of light.
No, yeah.
But I mean, the end of that Kortrijk thing again, that was really, really good. And like, I don't know if over the course you're going to ask like, what of my favourite one, or do I have a preferred Belgian team? And my plan really is to not have like any like allegiances at all. I want to be known. Like, the guy come over to Belgium, even if I went over that one time and he just wanted to showcase Belgian football. It doesn't matter if he'd gone to the rival. It doesn't matter if he'd gone to that, because he getting involved with whoever he's watching in the home team. And I just wanted the home team to win. Whoever I'm watching, I wanted the home team to win. Yeah, but away team, I'll happily then go to their ground, and then I would want them to win. You know what I mean? It just showcasing what Belgian football is all about, the fan, the football, sometimes the food. You know, I didn't have as much food as I would have had, but that was my main aim for that. And for those first two videos, I was very, very happy. Anderlecht, KV Kortrijk. But yeah. Any more? Or are we moving on?
The only thing, sort of moving on from the game, again, I think you covered it very, very well, and I think you did a fantastic job yet again. So again, well done. And if I was a Kortrijk fan, I would be very grateful for the way that you covered my team. So I think you've earned the kind of praise that you've got from them as well. And I think it's nice that they've got in touch.
Yeah.
But the last thing that I have to say about that day was you missed your train home, didn't you? That caused a bit of a dilemma. Am I right? Different time.
No. Different one. We'll come to that.
Which one's that one?
This one we left early to make the train home. Okay, and
you made it.
Dick one we did, yeah.
Okay,
5 minutes
which
to
one?
spare.
Just so I can move my notes.
Yeah, move your Dick one, and I didn't mention that in the vlog anyway, but yeah, Dick one, the one we missed was the Charleroi one, which is Saturday night. Going to be a game between
Yeah.
the Kortrijk and the Charleroi one that we haven't covered yet. So I'm guessing that's what we'll move on to first. Or have you got another
We can
question
do.
about
Well,
these
so we've
bad
got the
boys?
Kortrijk. Well, we've got day 3 now. We've got 2 games, 1 day, 2 derbies in 1 day, setting the standard.
Not too Derby.
Liège.
Yeah,
Do you like
not
brilliant?
too Derby.
Absolutely brilliant. So what we'll do is we'll cut this minute out and then we'll just re-record it so I look like I've had an absolute blinder this episode because you know what? We'll write that off. We'll write that off, okay? But anyway, day 3, setting the standard, Liège, because that's the important bit.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you like that?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. So firstly, because I don't want to jump the gun again like I did with the last one. Did you do anything before you watched your first game? You finished off one of the videos, am I right in saying?
I finished off
and
the 24-hour one in the early morning, and then we chilled for a bit, did some shopping, like just went to the shop like in the town and the city centre, and then went to the first game that kicked off at 4 o'clock.
Wonderful. And again, 2 games in 1 day. So nice. The Anderlecht youth team, I can't remember what they're called. They're like Anderlecht
RSCA
2, but
Future,
also...
yeah. I mean,
Cool.
RSCA, obviously Royal Sporting Club Anderlecht Future,
Right.
so it's their future. So the interesting thing about Belgian football is they have the bigger clubs have their second team in the main leagues. So it would be equivalent to Man United's second team being in the Championship. That is what the equivalent is. So they are kind of a separate club. They're a separate entity, and they have their own fan as such. I'm sure Anderlecht fans watch both. But it's very strange at the same time because none of those future second team, wherever they are, get many fans that go and watch them play. They normally play at like an academy ground or something like that. But RSC Future are different because they play at the biggest ground in Belgium, Sint-Truiden.
A weird game. It was quite weird to watch.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was weird to be there, but the whole sort of experience of that day it just seemed quite odd, even from getting into the ground. So talk to us about that experience, because it was obviously you're watching football, but in an unusual circumstances.
It's very, very unusual circumstances because, well, first of all, of course, the Sint-Truiden, or it was other known as Hazel. Maybe you would know Hazel from the Hazel disaster, maybe, with the Juventus and Liverpool fan. I have doing a video on that.
Oh, yes.
But, so there was a video coming out about that and the Hazel disaster. If people don't know about that, I thought might as well, they're quite a nice, not nice, of course, that happened, but it's a nice video to put out. I've made that very clear. But, and I thought, what a great way to tick off that ground. Go into that biggest stadium in Belgium. You can get a ticket. It's the RSC Future. I can get a ticket. Wait, I can get a ticket in the away end. Why don't I get a ticket in the away and make the experience a little bit different so I can experience away end atmosphere? Because, of course, I wouldn't be able to get any away tickets in the Belgian Pro League because they sell them out. They sell them out, and the club don't even get those. They give all the allocation for tickets to the supportive branching, and then they spread them out between the branches. Very strange setup, but it also kind of makes sense at the same time. It's very hard to get tickets in the away end. Only the die-hard fans are. But it's a different Challenger Pro League. It's Liège, the away team. I waited until tickets went on sale, which was only 4 days before we left, which was pretty mad, actually. But I could have got tickets in the home end a month before, ages before. But I held off because I thought, well, I'd like to get tickets away, and I can see loads of seats available there in the section that they had unlocked. Why don't I wait? So I did, got tickets in the away end, all cool, no problem. Bit of back and forth with the club, saying, enjoy the game, whatever. And that was really cool. Now, we arrive, I went to show the ticket, and he said, oh, you're in here. And I was like, no, I'm block A, which is where it said the away ending. And he was like, yeah, up that way. And, I'm like, yeah, I'm new here, but at the same time, I knew where the away fans are, and I knew they were over there, not over there. So when he said, yeah, you're that way, and I was like, are you sure? Because we're in block A. I think it go over there. And he said, yeah, up that way. I was like, okay, maybe you walk round, whatever. Okay, you know your stuff. We walk in. I hadn't even shown him the ticket. I just went to, and he didn't. No one scanned it. They just let us through the gate. We walk up, and I'm like, Jacob, we're in a home end. I had a ticket for the away end. I'm in the home end. Like, how mad is that? Like, I mean, literally, if I
Yeah.
want, not that I would have started trouble, but if I want to start trouble, you just
Yeah.
let me in with the people I want to start trouble with. If I'm like a hardcore away fan, or they're like a section, you know, maybe 20 of us or something, you know, it could be different, but let's say there was a big group of us that wanted to start trouble, you've just let us in with those fans. But I've got a ticket in that end. And I was like, well, it's too late now. There's no point now because I think I'd have to walk all the way around to get over there. So I was just like, all right, whatever, go title changing. I'm not in the away end anymore. I'm in the home end. Go football in the biggest stadium in Belgium. It is. Go there, right there and then. So that title I put in board. Now, that video as such, you know, I didn't expect that to do like well at all. Of course, it is my league view video, but at the same time, it was just a way for me to tick off a new ground, 2 games in one day. You know, why not tick it off? Why not do it right near where we were staying? So it was a good little opportunity to do that. But yeah, not a lot I could say. The Leo fans were singing, they were chanting, but because it's such an open and big stadium, I couldn't really get a lot of shock of them chanting. That's why I wanted to go in their end. But again, it is what it is. It was completely fine. But I'm interested to know if and any questions that you have following from what I've just told you.
To be fair, there's not a great deal to touch on, to be honest, because you know it just is quite an unusual situation. I mean, you used in the video the COVID football comparison. It felt a bit like that because you've got this vast stadium that's so empty, and it's very, very odd. I mean, you could even go out in half time and just wander around. You could, in theory, pop to the local supermarket, come back, and yeah, that was very, very odd. Do you know why they actually play at that stadium? Or are you not sure?
A couple of people did actually comment on that video, saying they did used to play at Lotto Park and the actual ground, which if then that would make more sense, of course. But the pitch was getting fucked up basically because they were overused. You know, it's like if the Chelsea ladies were playing constantly on Stamford Bridge ground, you know, they're gonna get messed up with the amount of games that are being played on it. And I assume all the other grounds nearby, although I showed Logan, I said there's loads of other grounds, either I guess can't. Like, they don't want their pitch ruined either, or maybe it's too small so it doesn't have the gradient to reach the Challenger Pro League because it's on non-league grounds, you know, the pitch-wise, etc. So I'm assuming the only one that's available and only used for national or major cup final is that ground. And so I guess that's all they had available to them. But it is just mad to think, you know, they have the biggest stadium in Belgium is Anderlecht youth team.
Yeah.
But again, like a great opportunity to tick it off.
Yeah, well, mate, 100%. It's a good excuse to tick off 100%. And I think, to be honest, the only question really that I have about this, because you know, Jacob was on his phone for bits of it as you were like showing around the stadium, and I was basically, you know, was it an enjoyable experience? Because at the end of the day, you're watching football, but did the weirdness of it kind of take away from the experience, or did you still, you know, have a good time?
I still had a good time. It was just, you know, I'm there to, you know, I'm trying to show the atmosphere, etc. But there wasn't, of course, there wasn't any. It didn't feel like going to like a under 21 game in like England, for example, where you know, you're watching the football, you're seeing some players that potentially could be future stars in the top of the Anderlecht team. You never know. You know, RSC Futures, I think, have had big top names that are now playing for like Anderlecht, or like even like or have had played for Anderlecht. Like I think Lukaku, I think who came from Anderlecht youth, I believe. I think even maybe Vertonghen, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. No, maybe not Vertonghen.
I'm not sure. Vincent Kompany, no. I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, Vincent Kompany definitely did. But yeah, quite a few of them I think have played for RSCA Futures. So they are one of the top academies in Belgium. So they are the big academy, but at the same time, they just don't have the fans that are there because I guess because they're in the actual structured system, they kind of have different fans, weirdly, even though they're wearing the Anderlecht shirt and everything.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but at the same time,
very weird.
they can't get promoted.
Yeah.
So they're there. They're just in that league. I even think they finished second or something not long ago, but they can't get promoted. So
Mm.
and there's no like pool there. The Anderlecht fan can't that bother, because I wouldn't be that bothered about Sunderland youth playing in like League Two. I'm not gonna go out my way to go and watch them play. It can just feel different, doesn't it? It feels different. You don't know the
Yeah.
players. It's not the same thing. But again, I don't regret going to that. It's just not the
Yeah.
best one there. You've always got to have a worked one, and if I'm going to put it, that's that one, because nothing to do about the quality of football, because it was some good quality football there. They're playing. You could tell they were less experienced, but it was good. Good. If I was a scout, I would get more of a chance of picking out players from that game than I probably would in other games, because they stood out a little
Definitely.
bit more. The better player, and Anderlecht even went 1-0 up in like the second minute. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one. Again, we had to leave early to go and get the train, but it was mainly again in that video showcasing football in Belgium. Didn't make a goal in that one, but yeah, we left early and jumped on our train. And unless you have any other thing from there, we'll go on to game number 4. Yeah.
Yes, we absolutely will. Yeah, I think it's just a change of pace, wasn't it? And again, when
Yeah.
you're showcasing Belgian football as you would with English football or anywhere you go in the world, you're going to get some really great games and some great atmospheres, and you're going to get ones that are not even disappointing. Because let's not say it's disappointing, but different, a quiet. And next, of course, was the Walloon Derby. Is that how you say it? It's Charleroi versus Standard Liège.
Yeah, Derby de Wallonia. Yeah, so well on Derby.
Nice, I like it. And one of the things actually that I haven't touched on is I like the fact that you put effort into saying the clubs and the stadiums and stuff in the correct way. I think that's a real nice touch and probably was appreciated by the fans as well. But getting into the
Yeah.
derby, because this is a real change of pace from the game that we've just spoken about. We've gone
Mm.
from an atmosphere that was perhaps lacking to one of the best atmospheres that I think as a
Yeah.
viewer that you saw. It was absolutely crazy. And you started off with that black and white scarf on, the magpie scarf. It was a rare sight for you. But yeah, talk to me about that game. So obviously you've gone from one game to the other. I
Yeah.
presume you went straight there.
Yeah, because it was about an hour and a half away, actually. So it walk on the other side of Belgium, so that it's not like
Oh,
close.
wow.
Belgium's not huge, but if you look on my footballogy map, I will go over here by the French border. I was over there. Like I was kind of dotting around all over the place on that kind of left side of Belgium mainly. I've got to do the right side, and I've got to do that. I've got to do the right side. But yeah, it's not nearby at all. But it was an 8:45 kickoff, a very, very late one again. And
Yeah.
we'll actually start off with walking to the ground, okay? Because
Okay.
I didn't include any of this on the vlog because it was just too dark. It was dark everywhere. But walking to the ground, and and I'm not even joking here, the pictures or the footage of the D-Day landing, yeah, the main pit of the wall. I know you love your
Yeah.
history. Like the crossing kind of thing with the barbed wire on, like the wall they would make, and it'd have like these big crosses all up the beach of like
Yeah.
metal. They had that to block off the road, right? They had that
Okay.
with
That's
rightly
unusual.
their horses patrolling around, and
Wow.
me and Jacob were just walking on our own through Charleroi, and not which again I know it could go before. I would have thought it was Charleroi, but it's Charleroi. Again,
Yeah.
I'm still probably not saying that correct of how with the accent, but it's Charleroi, and we're walking through that centre, seeing Pleacock, seeing the kind of fencing with barbed wire. Can't go that way. Okay, you've got to walk up this way. Just following our phone or whatever. So already I would like, okay, like we've arrived at a derby. We have arrived at a derby,
Yeah.
definitely. When they've had to block off the road with barbed wire, so that obviously that must have been where the away fan go. We did see some coaching on the other side. They must have got the away fans there, and they did like a march maybe to the ground. You couldn't get there. Barbed wire, rightly, horses patrolling. No way would you get in
Wow.
there. Now, yeah, this derby, it was good. Very like it was insane because I didn't really know what to expect. I had seen think of like maybe like other YouTubers that have gone there, but at the same time, I didn't want to ruin it. I just wanted to go in there blind. really. I didn't want to research it too much. I wanted to go in there blind.
Yeah.
The only YouTubers that I watched that had been there have been Groundhopper FC and Footy Adventure. Both went in with a very negative title, with being quite negative in the video. Groundhopper, and that's why I mentioned it at the beginning. Footy Adventure said Nick is the most ugliest city in Belgium. Groundhopper FC said Nick is the most depressed club in Belgium. He had like even made a little banner of "We are depressed" on the thing, and I was like, I don't like being negative, and I was like, no, I'm doing another spinny. You know, it's the English fan experiencing this now, but I want to be positive. I want to be showcase this game, and not looking at them as being depressed or an ugly city, which it really wasn't. Actually, it really wasn't that bad of a city at all. It looked really nice, like a nice like water going through, of like bridges going over. And you got like shop, cool like newer kind of build shop, etc. From what I saw, and I hadn't seen the rest of it, but yeah. I wanted to be positive. I went in there. In this video, I wanted to talk Lech. I wanted to get into that action. We're here at the Wallon derby between Sporting Club Charleroi and Standard Liege. You wanted to. I just wanted to get into that, and that was where I went a little bit of a different vibe like I did for the Anderlecht and Kortrijk one, and even like the RSC one. I just wanted to be like, we are here. You're coming with us. Let's check out together, this experience of the Wallon derby, because I didn't know what to expect. Jacob definitely didn't know what to expect, and we went in there, and I didn't think it would like that. Shocked me what happened basically, because I got the single shot of one flare went off, one flare. They were holding their scarves up. It was silent, and I was like, I turned to Jacob, and I was like, this is really weird. Like, it's silent. Like, what's going on? They're all like stood there still with just their scarves. One guy with just his smoke bomb. It was a very like, I don't know what you could call it, like a very atmospheric thing of just silent, and one guy just holding his thing out like this. All of them with their scarves like this, although the black and white ones there. And then suddenly it erupted with flares. Banging, smoke bomb, Standard Liege, smoke bomb, flare. It just went from nothing. Oh my god! Like what is going on? Like, that, again, I got my reaction to that, because I was like, "Whoa, what the? Like, what's going on here?" And that picture in my thumbnail, that's my picture. I didn't take that from the internet. That's my picture.
It's incredible, yeah.
Which of course you knew I'd done my thumbnail in advance. I only used two of those because I got pictures myself. I just used them as kind of like a backup in case I didn't. But that was insane. Insane pyro display. And then someone kindly commented to me that the reason why it was silent for that bit before is because earlier that week a Charleroi Ultra had actually unfortunately died. So they all were silent, holding that one smoke bomb in a tribute to that.
Wow.
And I thought, I wish I did, because that really touching and really, really nice that they were all just silent for like a moment of respect, and the Standard Liege fan had gone silent as well, which is why I thought it was strange. They must have known, and it was coordinated. So even though it was a derby, they stopped all that for like that minute or so, and both of them were just completely silent. He had one kind of flare out to give that little bit of a tribute to, sadly, that Charleroi Ultra that had died, and then suddenly that when boom, that show happened, pyro show, and everything went off, and the atmosphere, boom, insane, absolutely unreal. Like, I hadn't seen anything like that before. The Standard Liège fan, the Charleroi fan, they were just incredible. They were really, really good. Like, yeah. I would actually lost for words, and I don't know what you thought of watching. So, by the way, I only know what Sound of Football hit to actually know about like 3 of my vids, because we'd only talked about the other ones. So this one, I don't know anything about what you thought about that video and what you thought of watching that as a subscriber of my channel. Like, actually, one thing that maybe I'm going to flip it around a little bit. I just wanted to know what you thought from watching that bit, that little bit there.
So, well, firstly, it's a beautiful story and a really well told as well. But yeah, I think that's lovely. The shot that sticks out to me from watching that video that I really liked, that I put up there with that moment where you were filming yourself and the goal went in at the
Yeah.
Anderlecht game. This was as good for me, was when you were filming the Standard Liège fans as they're walking down the stairs and they're all
Yes.
carrying their flags. That was fantastic because for me, I'm watching it and at the beginning, you almost forget it's a derby because it's quite empty. Like you said, Belgian football, from what you've experienced, they all come in quite close to kickoff. And it was like, okay, now the derby has arrived and now it's going to get real. Like, this is where it's going to start kicking off. And I mean, it's safe to say you're back with the atmosphere for this game as well. As a viewer, I really enjoyed it. And I think that you covered it really well. I always find that it is better sometimes to sort of go into games like this with not a lot of research done about like the history or this, that, and the other, and actually just go and experience it for yourself. And I think you put a nice spin on it, like you said, compared to what other people have done. I really enjoyed it, mate. I thought it was fantastic. And again, you covered the fans really well. I think the Charleroi fans at the beginning, they weren't singing so much, just waving flags. Was that the bit that you were talking about where it all went silent?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was right at the beginning. Yeah, so they kind of did like they're not going to do any chant. They're going to be completely silent for a while. But sure, I didn't know that at the time. I was more just confused about what was going on. But
of course,
someone, lovely guy, commented on my Charleroi video and just let me know, and I love that. I absolutely love it when someone like lets me know about these kind of things. They've watched my video and gone, oh, just to let you know, the reason why the Charleroi fans did that at the beginning is because of this, and I'm like, oh, okay, I wish I knew that before. So that was brilliant. And like both technical fans were great. But Standard Liège fans are known to be really, really good, letting off their pyro, etc. So they're definitely a ground and team that I would like to go and visit, definitely. But yeah, brilliant.
I bet. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic, and the fans at either end of the ground, it was almost like who could set off the most flares and who was madder. It was like war. And that bit where you said actually at one point you were like, I don't know where to look, and that's again where you captured the madness of the atmosphere in this derby so well. And obviously one of the big standout points in terms of watching it at home was when the Standard Liège fans it looked like they were on fire because there were that many flares off to the point where the match got postponed, or not postponed, like delayed. Sorry, they had to like stop the game for a bit. Now, I do have a question about that because I was wondering if I was there and this has happened. At first, you're probably like, "Oh my god, this is so crazy! This is so cool." I don't know, obviously, how long it was sort of stopped for, but did it reach a point where you're like, "It's a bit annoying now. I just want to get the football back underway"?
Not really, because the fans were still chanting, etc.
Yeah.
And it was only stopped maybe for 5 minutes. I knew that, of course, it was going to go again once the smoke had cleared. So it's not like you're waiting for nothing. You're like, you can see when the ref probably going to be like, oh, he's probably all right now. But we couldn't see anything. Like, that's why I went to that 0.5 shot of the ground and you could just see smoke. And I was like, mad, isn't it? Like, to stop the game because of these smoke bombs going off. And you truly couldn't see anything. Well, pretty damn remarkable that was. So yeah,
it's just so alien for us as well. Like, as England fans, we just don't really see. Well,
no,
I can't think of any time that I've seen anything like that in my life. Certainly not in England. Like, you get the odd like smoke bomb or whatever that's thrown onto the pitch, and that's quite cool. Like, that for us is like the peak of
mad, isn't it?
English atmosphere, isn't it? Yeah. And it is, as I say, that's why I've really enjoyed this series, is you have just showcased it brilliantly. In that game, especially, like the fans that were bouncing in the ground looked incredible.
Yeah.
But one difference actually that I noticed was when Standard Liège scored. You know how in English football, when the away team score, it's almost like that whole, like the group of fans start directing their celebrations at the home team. It's almost like, have some of that. Like Coventry versus Cardiff, the game I went to last week. Cardiff score, and you just see them all running across to that little segregation bit to start giving it to the home fans. Standard Liège, I don't know if you were aware of this when you were watching it, but in your
They
vlog,
just stay where they are.
they're celebrating but looking at the team, like banging the advertising boards.
Yeah.
But they're celebrating
At the
looking
team.
at the team. They're not giving
At
it.
the
And
team.
I thought that was really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what
Which is
I
great.
like again, is they're celebrating with the team, where us English fans, we score a goal and immediately you want to go over there and run over to, hey, and taunt the other fan. Pathetic. Celebrate with a club. Who cares about those fans? They don't give a shit about the fans that are there. They're not at the other fan or whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. They're there to watch their club. Yes, it's a derby still, but they're there to watch their club. They don't need to be turning or running towards their fans. They're there. The club have scored. The team have scored. They're celebrating with their fans. And that's the main thing. Jacob actually turned to me and said, after they scored, I expected more limbs, like basically like running to walk, and I was like, well, no, they're just celebrating where they are, you know, like they're all in their set places. They've got their flag and that. They're not, what they're going to do, drop them, run, you know, like it would seem silly. But like you said, we're used to scoring, and a lot of the section of fans running towards the other fan. And it's like, then you think about it and you're like, why do we do that? Like, why don't we just celebrate with the club?
I do love it. I do love it. But I know what you're saying.
Weird, yeah. Yeah, it's just like, you have
both.
to celebrate what you do, like what you celebrate, like you just taunting the other fan. Hey, we just scored. Yeah.
I think it is that. I think the English atmosphere. I think that the English atmosphere can be quite jovial sometimes, and it is almost like scoring points against each other, like you fat bastard, like those kind of chants or whatever. They're not supporting the team, but they're just scoring points, if you like, in terms of the fan side of things, and that's one of the things. Like, I do like that in English football. I'm not knocking that at all, but I think it was, as I say, it was just interesting watching from what. From your footage, it's just something that I looked at and thought, that's different. And Jacob obviously pointed it out as well.
Yeah.
I liked as well, this is a big fat thumbs up for your vlog, because I like the fact that you noticed the people that were watching from their balconies, that obviously hadn't paid for a ticket, that were just watching from home. I thought that was really cool and quite a nice touch to put in the vlog, because obviously I've not been to this ground before.
Yeah.
So that's quite a cool thing that I wouldn't know unless I'd watch your video. So I enjoyed that, and I thought that was very cool.
Cool.
Last question that I have, and I might know the answer already purely because, you know, it's so far away from where you're staying, but why did you leave early? Is that why?
Well, to be perfectly honest, for this one, when I say early, added time was just going up. Like, it didn't feel like we were leaving really, really early.
No, yeah.
It was like 3 or 4 minute kind of time or whatever, and Charleroi just ended up scoring the last kick of the game or whatever. We literally, actually, not even that, because I went to the toilet. I needed the toilet. I thought, well, it's going to be local people around. I'll go to the toilet, then we'll leave. So we literally, the time that I walked down, quickly went to the toilet, walked down the steps, Charleroi was scored. I quickly ran into that clubhouse, shot where the marquee, and got a little bit of footage of the goal going in. And then Agui then walked out.
That was cool.
The fans were chanting, and Agui were just starting to walk out. Full-time whistle went. So it wasn't like really, really early. It was more the fact that we were conscious that we just wanted to be that couple minutes ahead of everyone before, you know, everyone's starting to leave, and then that couple of minutes ahead, staying behind. It could have been a big 20-minute gap from waiting to get out, or you know, the crowd kind of waiting for the crowd congestion. So that's mainly the only reason, really, why we left there. Like it, you know, you make a goal, but it is what it is there, you know.
It's not the end of the world.
No, I saw it. You know, we went to the cover.
Exactly, yeah, and I like the fact that you included it in the vlog as well. I thought that was a bit like when I missed the Chelsea one, actually against Ghent, and I managed to get that on the TV. So I think you didn't totally miss it, mate. So you're all good. Nah. You're all good.
Exactly.
Now, this brings us on to the fun part that I was alluding to earlier, but I got the games wrong. Talk to me. What happened after the game?
Well, I booked the taxi from Charleroi train station at 11:15 at night. The last train was at 10:10. So with that delays, if I hadn't booked that taxi, we would have had to leave after the half time, basically. And I was like,
Yeah.
let's just pay for a taxi. Let's just pay for a taxi. I've booked it. I paid the deposit. So it's all good. You're going to pick us up from Charleroi train station, 11:15. We'll leave a couple minutes early just so, we can allow plenty of time to get down there, etc. Get out from away from the crowds. So we did that. And unfortunately, the taxi didn't show up. I tried to contact, nothing. And it just resulted in what do you do? Do you wait at the train station for 5 hours until the first train in the day? Or do you just think, oh, look on my phone, booking.com, go hike on a hotel, 40 quid each. Yeah, why not? It's a bit annoying because you want to be back where all your stuffing and things like that. But at the end of the day, got a room, get an early train back to our flat, chill for a bit, and then go off to the second two games. At the moment, it was obviously a little bit stressful in terms of thinking. Like, first of all, it was like a thinking, okay, the taxi's not coming. We're not paying 200 odd euro for a taxi back to Brussels. Why don't we just pay 100 euro, half of that, and obviously split it and just stay in a hotel?
Yeah.
So, and it's fine. It's not anything you think back on and think, that was traumatizing at all. It's just, you pay a bit of money to the hotel. We were going to be paying for a taxi anyway, so it was about the same money as the original taxi price. I've got that deposit back now. They did apologise. They sent an email and just said, we couldn't find a taxi for you. I'm really sorry, that doesn't normally happen. So I've got that deposit back anyway. That was the only worry at the time. I paid that deposit. Mainly, that was what I was annoyed about. That I paid like half of the money, but I've got that back. And then I just put that into the hotel. So I'm no more out of pocket than if we were to just get a taxi in the first place. So that just equaled it. It didn't put a dampener on it at all. I wasn't going to get that video out straight away anyway, so we just went back. We slept, and on the train back in the morning, I edited that video and got it up before our then 2 games on the final day. So that's all good, all fine.
Hard days graft. To getting it up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The only thing is, because of that, because we had to get the earlier train and went back, and obviously we wanted to have a shower and get changed, I missed out on one video that I wanted to record when I was out there, which is a bit of a shame because I talked to you about that, and it was the ground that had been abandoned since 1960s. I wouldn't able to record that because I couldn't get the Tonga in time. That's not the end of the world. It's giving me more of an opportunity to have to go back out there again because I want to do that abandoned ground.
There you go. Wicked, yeah. And I think you've done pretty well as well. But you set really high standards and expectations of what you wanted from this trip, and you have done fantastically well. To only miss out on one video is sure, it's probably annoying, but at least, if ever you do go back, you've now got one in the bank already to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Bang on. But we are now on to day 4. Goodness sake, it's over already. So we've obviously sort of started this with a tired train journey home. I imagine that you're both shattered at this point. It's been a busy few days.
I had a very, very good night's sleep. Very good night. It was a Nova hotel, which of course we have over here. Really comfy.
Love it.
We didn't get up like ridiculously early. I think we'd set alarm. We think we got like a 7 o'clock train. So it wasn't like early. And of course, we actually got back. We went to sleep earlier than we would have if we had gone back to Brussels that day. So I actually woke up feeling very refreshed, very good, and going into that last day, feeling So actually, I wasn't tired on the way back. I was just excited to get that vlog up and uploaded.
Yeah, lovely stuff. And the day started, I believe, unless there was any stuff going on beforehand.
No, nothing.
2 games as well, by the way. Yep. The Limburg derby, Sint-Truiden versus Genk. So, we already know obviously about the start of your day, but you get into the ground. Actually, talk to me about anything exciting going towards the stadium, because I think we've left it at the moment with at the hotel, getting changed, boom, back out.
No, the train station was quite near to the ground actually when we got off at Sint-Truiden. Relatively easy to get there, hour and a half or so again. But yeah, nice, easy exchange one. All good and simple. And we saw other supporters on the train as well, which was nice. And yeah, just walked to the ground. It just felt like it was actually the only proper daytime one that we'd been to, because all the other ones were either afternoon or late,
Yeah.
and it would go 1:30 kickoff. So it was a nice day, fairly sunny. We've got quite lucky with the weather, to be fair, apart from the evening, but we were fine with that. And yeah, it just had a good vibe to it. It had a really good vibe to get in there. They had like a DJ on top of the roof doing things. I managed to go in the club shop. I managed to show more of the grounds than I had in the previous videos. So yeah, and also I had been back and forth with a Sint-Truiden fan who was telling me different things, and during the game he would even message me on Instagram. It was actually on this day mainly that I started to get quite a lot of engagement on like Instagram or on YouTube, or people messaging me saying go along to this game, and I replied to that guy and said I am going to that game, and then we talked about it and he was there, and that was really nice. And since then I've actually talked to a few more Sint-Truiden fans, a Kortrijk fan I've been keeping an eye on how they're doing, and one of them was sending me like a video at a game. I think yesterday, I think they played. They won actually. They won in the Croquis Cup, which is the Belgian version of the FA Cup. So they won, and now Sint-Truiden are in their quarterfinal of that, which is cool. And they're actually against the same fixture I just went to, is being again in the quarterfinal of the Croquis Cup. So yeah, it was just really, really, really nice to have that. And I, of course, picked the seat right at the back. Really, really steep stand. Really, really steep stand, actually. I don't know if that was apparent in the video, but like you can see it. But I really, really liked that view. I really, really liked the vibe from that club as well. Like I mentioned in the video, you felt very safe there. Not that I didn't before, but you felt like welcomed. If you know what I mean, you felt you had that
quite
vibe,
a nice family
about the
vibe.
place.
It seemed.
Yeah, definitely nice family vibe. There was like a there was like a nursery had done like an outing there, and there was like you could see the nursery worker with like 20 kids, and they were there at the Limburg Derby. Imagine that for a nursery trip. That's mental. I'm not even like joking
Bad,
at all. I could see them down there. But yeah, the Limburg Derby, it had a different vibe as you might expect from a derby, and Fusion Josh labelled it as the most feared derby in Belgium, but again, I would say that was more clickbait.
It didn't seem that from your vlog.
No, I think it was a good. It was a nice derby. Derby don't have to be aggressive, hate each other kind of thing. A derby, good atmosphere. You can the game. Like I believe it probably would be if they were the Ultras were at each other kind of thing, because they were locked in. That was a weird away end. That lower bit, they were locked in there, and they had a net in front of them. Maybe that's the reason why it changed a little bit, because before they had thrown flares on, and you could actually see, and the guy had actually told me, who I've been messaging, that you could see the burn mark from last season fixture in the graph, because it's an artificial graph pitch. So you can see a black mark, and that from them throwing a flare in the last game that Groundhopper FC was actually at that one. But yeah.
There you go. I'll have to look out for that if I rewatch your video, because that's very interesting. And like you said, it's quite a unique but a nice stadium. That the really two seats at the top on your own, which I thought was quite cool. But I think that the tone was set nicely with that fantastic fan display at the beginning, with the yellow fireworks it set up as well. That was brilliant.
I know, the boom,
really cool.
I didn't expect that either. He didn't tell me about that. Okay. But yeah, the fire, boom, 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 boom. Boom, and I was like, yeah, that is insane. Yeah, and there were some pyro well that went off like around like the 50th, 60th minute as well, and the Genk fans were singing all throughout. It was just a very fun and nice game to go to. I really, really enjoyed that one, actually. A 2-2 draw as well.
I think on camera, watching it at home, it seemed to me as though it came across as being similar to like an English league game, but like a good English league atmosphere. Like we've seen some mental stuff so far, like that you'd look at and go, you never see that in an English game. But trying to sort of keep that a comparison theme going throughout, this one seemed like the most, like I look at that and go, I feel like I've been to a game that has that kind of atmosphere before, excluding the bit at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you, that kind of vibe. And also, I guess, like, maybe the stadium setup, it was a little bit newer than the other ones. It wasn't, like, more like the
Yeah,
old
I
school
heard
kind
that.
of vibe. I think that maybe a thing as well. It kind of reminded me, kind of a little bit, because it was yellow. I'm kind of thinking, like Norwich kind of vibe. But yeah, with
Heard
then
that.
heightened atmosphere and what you wouldn't get at England with even like the ultra behind the goal. Now, the Sint-Truiden ultra, I was a little bit further away from them, so they were very, very good.
Yeah,
It was just harder to showcase them because the Genk and the drum were going off. So it was
yeah,
hard for me to actually have them quiet. So can you just be quiet? I want to
yeah.
showcase
Oh,
these
shut
now.
it.
Share the limelight.
Yeah,
Stop the drumming. I want to show that. Right, continue again. You know what I mean? So they were just going all throughout, and because I was just closer to them, yeah, you're gonna hear them more.
yeah, 100%.
Trinidad fans were fantastic, really, really good, especially behind the goal, and even at parts, the whole ground were kind of getting involved in little bits. But yeah, it was a really, really good one. I really did enjoy that one, definitely.
Good, 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 good. I think as well, probably the save of the series came in that game from the Genk goalkeeper, saving that shot with his legs. I don't know if it
Yeah,
deflected or not, but he like booted it away. It's
no,
brilliant.
yeah,
It's so, so
yeah,
good.
incredible.
But then on the other hand, Sint-Truiden seemed like the most unluckiest team ever. They
Yeah,
had like no luck in front of goal the first half.
yeah.
Then when they finally turned it around, scored two, it's an own goal that obviously sealed the draw, like stoppage time as well, wasn't it? So
Yeah,
that was,
and it was VAR, both of them VAR for Genk as well.
yeah. Oh,
But
brilliant. There
at
you
the
go.
same time, yeah, they're top of the league. They were top of the league. They were first. They were like 5
Yeah.
points clear. I think Trinidad were down in 11th. So
Yeah.
it was a very
It's a
like,
good result.
yeah, you know what I mean. It was kind of like a Liverpool versus someone down in like 12th place. Got think of that Premier League,
Yeah, like
whatever.
Spurs.
Yeah, okay, no, you know what I mean. Okay, it was a
Yeah.
league are most likely going to win. Go to get a 2-2 draw. Although it was just sad that they very nearly got the win, they would have taken that would take that at the beginning, wouldn't they? So
Yeah, 100%.
I still think that's very good. A very,
100%.
very good game of football. The game of football was just that was great. Like you said, they got unlucky, but it was really exciting. With loads of chances going on, good saves. That was packed full of
Yeah.
footballing delight, I will say.
Lovely. What a lovely summary of the game that was, which I think it is a perfect note to leave it on, to be honest. Did you have time in between that game and then the next match to sort of chill out, or was it a bit of a rush to make sure you get there on time?
Yes, I knew that we could stay till the end because I knew that
Yeah.
we still had like a 20-minute wait after we got to the train, like maybe like half-hour wait from the game finishing to the next train or something like that. So I knew that
Mm.
we had time to kill, and I wanted to stay to the end anyway. Cool. Stay to the end, walk to the train station. I didn't even think about editing that yet. I just just chilled, and jumped on the train to the next game. Which we'll go on to that final game now, shall we?
Final game. Sad
Final
face.
game.
USG versus Royal Antwerp, wasn't it? And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you actually, before we get into it. So you said that you didn't do any editing, which I can understand. So obviously you want to try and save up your battery and maybe not scramble too much of your brain before going to the next match. Did you have to charge your phone or was that okay? It's a very boring question, but for me, I was intrigued. Did he have to charge his phone?
No, I had my power bank. So I charged that every single day. I took my power bank with me every single game. I will
Beautiful.
my charging it on the train or charging it even during the game at park. I had it plugged into the power bank. So, yeah, I was completely fine with that regard. That one thing that I wouldn't have been able to live without in my power bank, especially with the 2 games in one day.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So the final game, you ended on an absolute beauty of a ground. I love this. Even watching it, I was like, this is so unique and so cool. It's like, it's essentially a ground that is built into the side of a hill almost.
Yeah.
But next to a forest. It's almost like in a little ditch that they've just carved out, a bit like the old Roman or Greek amphitheaters.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, talk to me about that, because I mean, that is just a wonderful sight, and I bet a real treat to go and watch a game there.
Yeah, so another one, I'd already heard of him because they'd actually played Liverpool in like Europa League or something a few years back. I remember seeing like Liverpool versus Royal Union Saint-Gilloise, and I had seen that ground and I was like, that does look really, really cool. Now I know that they now play their Europa League game actually at the King Biden, because that doesn't have UEFA grading. I did say that in the video. It doesn't have UEFA grading, because they're not actually able to play any of their European games there, and you can see why. I think they are in a process of looking for another ground, which is a shame, but they are apparently the team to support in Belgium at the moment. They are the boy, the interest is there. People like going to see Union, and I mean, you can see why. It's very, very hard. Like again, I wanted to say complete bias to Belgian football, but they are rival to Anderlecht, of course, both being in Brussels. I don't think it's like a fierce rivalry, just the Brussels derby. They've even played in Anderlecht ground for Europa League games in the past, so I don't think it's like bad, but at the same time, I didn't want to. I originally had a title of like visiting the most beautiful stadium in Belgium. Now, therefore, I didn't want that to come across too like biased, like all those other ones, and then it is the most beautiful. You know what I mean? And just shoehorning that, and it is the best one to be at. Because, and it wasn't exactly that I thought that, but it was just different to what we know and like that we've been to before in England and here, because of, like you said, it being built in the bank. I mean, you saw that away end, how it's just there, the grass, and then you've got these seats just dotted in there. And it go obviously, you've got then the standing terrace that's along the midway, where normally a standing terrace would be behind the goals, so the ultras are on the halfway line, which I actually think even better, because they're constantly there for their team, rather than only one half there, kind of there for their team, and then the other half,
I like that as well.
Team down the other side. That they really did generate good atmosphere there as well. And like, we had to move though, because the only ticket I could get was front row of that stand. Now, we were sat there just for that beginning bit, and I was thinking, I can't get any content here. I couldn't see the other side of the pitch. I didn't bother getting a thing, and there were people right on top of me as well.
Yeah.
It was weird, that seating, that little bench that was literally like that thick. I'm not even joking.
Yes.
And I looked behind, and I could see some gap behind, and I said to Jacob, let's move. And he was like, why don't we wait a little bit in the game? I just said, nah, let's move, mate. I cannot do a video here.
Do what Sam would do.
We just sat here. It's either we're right here where we are at, or, by the way, Anderlecht, we could sit where we want. It would either sit here and not be able to see that side of the thing. There was like the big gate thing in the end. Literally, it was really restricted view, and everyone then was sat down right there. And I thought, literally, I'm going at the back. Like, if someone comes, I'll move a little bit, but I'm not going down there. So, literally, it went from me showing a shot here to then suddenly me up there. And then I said, we had to move, because then immediately Royal Antwerp scored the first minute in. So, it was all going off. And I was like, I've done my bit about leaving, because we walked up just before kickoff. Kickoff happened, and then we sat there. But I would actually stood up for most of the game at the back, which I like being. I like being at the back, because you can, you can stand up. You're not in anyone's way or anything like that. And, you don't feel like you're being intrusive for anyone. So, then I was happy with where we were at, and we could go into that game then, go into that final day, enjoy it. And I just thought, I'll use one of the result. Whatever the result is, that'll be the title. Nice and easy, nice and simple. The video did, hadn't done like insane, but it's done all right. 1,000 views. At the end of the day, considering I've only just tapping into that Belgian market, in a way with my YouTube vid. So yeah, it was a nice one. It was a nice game to go to, nice one to finish up on. Like you said, a unique ground, and great fans as well. Great fans too.
Yeah, 100%. That bench that you were sat on looked rank. Like, you did show that in the video. That again was a really good thing that you showed, because it's part of your journey and part of the game and the match experience. And it looked grim. That looked like the most uncomfortable thing ever. So I'm not surprised that you moved. I have got a little game for you though, by the way, because Vincent Janssen opened the scoring. Now, obviously, he used to play for Tottenham. So I've gone through all the games that you've been to, and I found some players who used to play in England, apart from one. So some recognisable names. So most of them are Anderlecht. One of them, I think, might have been in this game, but I can't remember who he's playing for. So we'll start with Boufal. I can't remember what his name is. Do you recognise the name Boufal?
Southampton, was it?
Yeah, bang on.
Yeah.
Big fat tick for that one. Yeah, 100%. So that was the one from, I think, that game. I think he plays for USG. I might be
Yeah.
wrong. That's one that I didn't actually know who he played for. But you saw
Yeah, I think it
him
was.
play.
Yeah.
You've got Den Donker was playing for Anderlecht.
Yeah. Did he used to play for? Is it an English team he used to play for?
Yes.
I wanted to say Villa, but I think I'm not sure. No, Wolves.
Yeah, I think it's Wolves.
Yeah.
I think it's Wolves.
I think Wolves. Okay.
I don't know if he
yeah.
played
I
for
knew.
Villa as well,
I
because you
think it
said
was
Villa,
somewhere
and I
around
thought,
there.
ooh.
Yeah, Wolves though.
So
I knew it was a Midland team. I remember Don Donka.
2 out
That
of
was
2 so
Anderlecht,
far.
Yeah.
Yeah, smashing it. Okay. Harder one. Again, I really should have written the surnames. But centre back, Jorgensen.
I don't know how to. You know, sometimes you've got to think of how it looked at when you're reading it. So Jorgensen, is it with a J? Jorgensen.
Yeah, so it's Jorgensen. He's Danish, I think.
Okay. I want to say Tottenham.
No, I'm just double checking
Okay.
I've got this right. No.
Okay.
Would you like the answer, or do you want to have another guess?
Is it a top 4 team, or like a top kind
No.
of team? But a Premier League team.
Other end. They're Premier League team.
Yeah. Okay. Watford.
No.
We're actually thinking Premier League. Oh shit. Oh no, I don't know.
Okay, so I've just had a look across because I felt like he played for another team as well in England. He used to play for Huddersfield, but the team that I was looking for was Brentford. Brentford, I think, was his most recent team.
Right, fair enough. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kasper Dolberg hasn't played in England, so that's your clue for this one.
Yeah.
But I've packed him so many times on my team.
Have you? No. Isn't it what, Italian or
French
team or French? Monaco?
No.
Marseille?
No.
Not PSG, was it? I don't think you played for.
No.
No, I don't know. Lille?
No.
No, I don't know.
Keep doing this
I don't
all
fucking
day.
know. I don't know.
Nice.
Right.
Do you know
yeah,
that
I'm not
one?
going to know that. No.
Cool, fine.
Well, I know the team.
We've got one more. We've got one more. And this one is a bit more, not personal to me, but there's a little connection there. So last one is Sam Adozi.
Okay, yeah. I would have said, has he been at Chelsea?
Sorry, the internet's just gone really slow, so I'm just catching up
right.
at the moment. But you said about Chelsea. I don't think he's played for Chelsea. I'm like 90% sure. I'm just double checking because he's... No, he's not. He's not played for
West
Chelsea.
Ham?
That's fine. I just had to double check.
West Ham?
Nope.
I don't know.
No, not West Ham. Okay,
No,
so Manchester City Youth Academy.
Yeah.
But the reason why he is somewhat significant to me is because he played for Southampton on loan last season, who I saw in the FA Cup road to Wembley. And in fact, I'm pretty sure he scored. He got wiped out in the edge of the box in one of the games. Good player, though.
Yeah, very good. Now, what?
Did
I don't know if
you got.
Yeah, there was one of the players actually with a goalkeeper, I think, for USG or Royal Antwerp, actually used to be, I think, Newcastle goalkeeper or backup goalkeeper.
Who was that?
Jacob brought that one up. I don't know how he knew that one, but
yeah, he's a big Magpies fan as well, isn't
he? Yeah, Magpie fan. Yeah, exactly. But let's just look it up quickly. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was like a backup for Newcastle, but he knew it. It wasn't not Sene Lemons. No. Maybe it was not Anthony Morris. Yeah, he somehow knew anyway. He's like a bold kind of guy.
Fair play, it's great knowledge.
But yeah, he said he'd like, yeah, I don't know, but he thought that he was like a Newcastle, but it could be wrong. I never actually looked that one up, but I took him word for it. But yeah, there were of course other players that I recognise the name, but sometimes it's hard to think, where did he used to play? Obviously, for Porto, obviously, they had some big names as well in there, Pepe, for example.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I will say as well that I did really enjoy the little Kevin McAllister Home Alone picture that you put in your edit. I thought that was really funny. Very good. Very festive as well for this time of year. So I enjoyed that. And that did make me laugh.
And that was his name.
So
that was the
really
goal
good.
scorer's name.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
I didn't make that up. Yeah, I said it to Ryan. He said, I just thought you just made up the goal scorer. I said, no, his name was Kevin McAllister. Obviously, then I thought, that'd be funny. And not just randomly Kevin McAllister, festive period, whatever he scored. The Grinch scored the other one. Like, really taking the piss.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, you nicked my punchline.
Got ahead at 90th minute, yeah. Oh, dear.
That's so
get me
good.
started with Mary.
She scored and she wasn't even playing. There you go.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, cool.
But yes, fantastic. Very, very good. And really enjoyed that. And it was a really nice end to the series as well. And that scene of you saying farewell for the last time, you've got the USG Ultras in the back making like the perfect amount of noise, really, from like a video point of view. I can hear you so clearly with the nice buzz of the fans behind you. And it was quite an emotional end, I felt, because as a mate, I really enjoyed watching this. As a subscriber, I really enjoyed watching this. Like, there's been no negatives about this trip. It's just been such a wonderful thing for your channel and something that I have really enjoyed. I'm sure all of your new subscribers have enjoyed, and old ones as well. So really, really great stuff. And I hope you've enjoyed it
thank
too.
You. Yeah, definitely. And,
I've got...
Go ahead.
No, go for it, mate. Go for it.
I was going to say, and for my channel, obviously, it's not all about that, but it's been very, very positive for my channel. Because I've gone up, let's see, 222 subscribers since that, which is
get in there,
incredible.
Boy.
I mean, that's great, isn't it? I mean,
it's brilliant
to see that sub count going up and see people seeing your video, having interaction and having messages coming back saying you've got to come out and come to Mechelen, you've got to come to this derby, you've got to come to the Brugge derby between Circa Brugge and Brugge, like you've got to come out to this, you've got to do Standard Liege versus Antwerp. They have a great part of play. You've got to come to Sint-Truiden. I've had people messaging me asking me, you've got to come out to this game, you've got to go to this game, you've got to do this. It made me want to go back, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to go back. I am definitely going to go back.
That's one of my quick fire questions done.
Like, if you've seen here what I've done behind me, we can move the mic a little bit so you can see the Kortrijk one right there. But
yeah,
I've been to all 5 of those. I have been talking to a USG fan today, who of course that is the one missing that I went to, and they're going to sort me out and hopefully get a scarf sent to me. Like, I don't mind sending him money, by the way, but he hasn't asked for any yet, but I would happily send him money for that scarf because it's very, very hard to get these scarves over here because a lot of them don't ship out to England since the Brexit kind of scenario kind of thing. It's quite hard to get anything out here. So I want a whole thing all the way along that wall of all the Belgian Pro League scarves, but only the ones that I've been to. So like we went back with the challenging of me doing a streak here, me having that Duolingo thing, my new challenge, my new streak, I want to tick off all those Belgian Pro League teams.
There you
That's
go.
what I want to do.
Mate, that'd be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. And I want to go to the Croquis Cup final, the Belgian Cup final, because like I enjoy going to football, but at the same time, the games that we go to are heavily oversaturated. The big ones, anyway. The FA Cup final, the Champions League final, playoff final. They're all heavily saturated, and you can go and look at that. Go and watch the big boy. Go and watch Fogden. He'll be there. He's very consistent with that kind of stuff. He's gonna be there at the FA Cup. He's gonna be there at Champions League. He's gonna be there at the other ones. Probably gonna be there at the Championship playoff final. He's probably not gonna be at the Croquis Cup final. And that what I want, because people have commented, thank you for showcasing Belgian Pro League. And when I get that recognition like that, and I really enjoy it anyway, and it was prominent in all of those videos, I'm not putting that on, there's no fake persona there, that is me enjoying it. And I have gone to games in the past, even that Western Supermare one, and it was alright. But I don't come away from that thinking, I really enjoyed that. I'm just stood there and watching a game of football. Really, if you look at the finer detail of it, I'm going to a game between two random teams that I don't care who wins, I don't care who scores, and I'm just going there. Why? And it made me think, like, why am I going out of the way, like spending money on these kind of things where, like, tomorrow I would have spent over 50 quid to go to Yeovil versus Weymouth, when it'll be all right, and it's a derby, and I like Yeovil. I like Yeovil. I wouldn't say I support him, but I like Yeovil. I have a scarf up there. You won't be able to see it, but it's there. But why didn't I save that? I'll turn it around if you don't believe. Why didn't I save that money, save up, and go back to Belgium, even if it's for 2 days, on my own even, and go and do 3 more games and then come back? and then go out again a few months later and do another couple of games and come back. And then eventually I tick off all that and fill out this wall behind me, which is a great thing to be able to showcase on my channel. It doesn't matter about the views, etc. It's about, I feel like then the content I'm bringing out is unique. That brings that unique side to it. If I'm the English YouTuber that is going out and showcasing, still my non-league stuff, still at Buckland, of course got Buckland, always got Buckland, and going to Sunderland games, but lesser of the random games in England that in fact no one really cared about. Really. Because, let's be honest, you cared about that Belgian trip because you enjoyed something new. But you watch the Western Kuba, like it's just that, isn't it? Like that's what it is. And then I feel like I have to talk more because I know they're going to be left for me to show. I'm not going to be showing fan chanting and things like that. I know it's not all about that, but it's just then more concentrated on the football and what goes on in the football. And then if it can 0-0, that's the vlog ruined. You know? Sorry, I've got a bit heated there. But I really came back from that with a different headspace in that I was like, that was insane. Like, I want more of that. I want more of that. And I could come back and do 3 games and I've gone to 3 new grounds. Like, I got excited that I would go into a new ground, another new ground. We're going to another new ground. Look at new experiences, new stuff. A new city that I'd never been to before. Charleroi I'd never ever been to before. Kortrijk I'd never been to before. And yeah, I didn't explore it as much as maybe someone that probably deserved me to explore it more to see what it's about. But I watched that football club and I really loved that football club. Kortrijk, loved Kortrijk. Charleroi, fantastic. Even the away fans, Liège, great. Sint-Truiden, brilliant. They're celebrating 100 years this year as well. They were created in 1924. Didn't even say that in the video, but that's a very interesting fact. They were created in 1924. Their 100th year anniversary, and that is a special 100 years Sint-Truiden, as you can see just there. 100 years of Sint-Truiden VV. Very cool, isn't it? So, yeah, I had a great time, a really, really great time in Belgium. And I was thinking back and I was like, well, why don't I go to LAN games and be more kind of defining about which one I go to? Buckland down the road, and I always give them good prop. I really want to go to Buckland because they're great and they're my local club. Sunderland, of course, are my team here in England, and I'll go to Sunderland games still. Those random ones will be lesser. I might sometimes, like a never, not a thing that I would never do, but I wouldn't be purely looking out. I need to go to a game this weekend. Let's look on Footballogy. Let's just do it now. Okay, let's have a see what's going on at this weekend. Just because this is what I would be doing. I'll be looking maybe like the week before and I need to go to a game for my content. I don't really have a pool there. What can I go to? Okay, nearby fixtures. Tomorrow. Okay, Ipple Pen versus Plymouth Marjan. Why would I go to that? Get new ground, but it's nothing, it's crap. I want to really show. I don't feel like that's needed on my channel to showcase anything. That's not me showcase the good in non-league. If I want to showcase the good in non-league, like Buckland is great. It's a great, welcoming fan, and anyone is welcome there. I would just continue supporting them, Sunderland, and go to Belgium. Go, Buckland and Cullen haven't lost me, but Belgium have definitely gained me as an advocate for Belgium Pro League because I love that, and I would love to go on like Belgium podcasts and talk about this kind of stuff. My whole content's not going to be just Belgium. Right now it is because I've got a content that I need to release from it. You have the Belgian era, then I'll go back to other stuff. But I want to go back. I will go back. I will go back to Belgium in the next, maybe in March, maybe early April. I will be back. I want to go to the Croquet Cup final. That would be great. If there is only one game on, though, I might think, well, it'd probably be better if I didn't go to that and went to 3 games instead over that weekend rather than just going out for one game because, at the FA Cup, it might be right at the end when there's nothing else on. I would rather use my money to come over and showcase 3 games rather than just going off and doing 1 game. Yeah, but that's about it. Unless you had any other question, we hadn't properly talked about it, but like that, I love Belgian football. I'm there looking at the results all the time. Yesterday I was there. I took a picture. I had this on, and or day before, sorry, and I was cheering on Kortrijk against Antwerp in the Croquet Cup. Yesterday, I was keeping an eye on the score and the Letwerk and Westerlo. Sorry, the day before as well, I was keeping an eye on the score and Sint-Truiden, and they were playing away. And I even had the Sint-Truiden fan page that was messaging me and sending me a picture or video over at that game. I think they were at Ghent, actually, not Genk, but Ghent. And I think they won 1-0. So it's really nice to just have that connection a little bit more. And I know I've got that, I'll put something up and they're going to reply to it on that Belgian kind of aspect. And they might even enjoy me going to the game here in England. And that, again, a good thing. But at the same time, all of them that I've talked to about England football, they think it over there as well. They think it's shit. They think the atmosphere is shit. And they don't rate English football. So it shows that it's not just us thinking that. It resonates. English football is falling. England are falling. We're not the home of football anymore. See you in a bit.
Is it my turn yet? Bloody hell. Have you finished? No, I'm joking. But no, it's really nice to hear you talk about Belgian football in the way that you have, because it's very clear to me that you've had your eyes opened by going over here. And I mean, you've been saying it's no shock for me hearing the words from you about how you speak about English football and the fan bases and stuff, because that's conversations that we've had time and time again. And you and I have got similar but ultimately differing views when it comes to English football. I'm still very much a big fan of the English game and the English atmosphere. I do agree that it's not at the levels of Belgium and it's different, but I think it's really nice and it's great to see you being so excited about YouTube videos again, because we go through slumps every now and then, and this is like a massive, it's inspired you, it's inspired me, because this is something that a few years ago, I think I've told you that my dad and I were going to go on a big football holiday, rent out an RV and go around Europe and watch different teams. COVID happened, Putin decided to invade Ukraine, and at that time we didn't know what the extent of that was going to be, and my mum then wasn't very well. So all of those three reasons meant that we didn't do that. So seeing you do that has reignited that spark of, well, I can do that. Like whoever can do that, I can have these great memories with people and do these kind of journeys. So what you've done is, well, I had some quick fire questions that I was going to ask you, but you've answered most of them in your 10-minute long speech at the end there, which was lovely to hear, as much as I'm only pulling your leg. But all I will finish my part with is just saying thank you for making that series, because you have showcased Belgian football fantastically. I've really enjoyed it. I've been telling my mates to watch it as well, because it is genuinely good content that I believe in and that you believe in. And I think that resonates to us as the viewers. Yeah, it's fantastic that it's being well received, and I hope that this is the start of something really promising for you, because when you're talking about the numbers going up and stuff, I've just got this massive smile on my face, because you are so passionate about what you're doing, and it is such a win-win. You're doing a great thing, you're enjoying it, and it's working. And this could be the start of something new, whether it stays with Belgium, whether you branch out even more. You've opened doors for yourself, me, people watching as well, to check out Belgium and to check out other countries of football that you might otherwise not do. So well done, mate. Massively proud of you, and really enjoyed the content. Can't wait for more to come.